News Channel 5 network and millions of conversations. This is one of millions of conversations.
Welcome to the Millions of Conversations show. I'm your host, Samar Ali. Today, we're going to be talking about the role of the Metro Human Relations Commission on our city here in Nashville and the county of Davidson County. This is a continuation of our series where we're looking into the hardcore issues that impact the heart and soul of our community. And I know of nobody else who's better situated to help lead us in this conversation today than my friend, Reverend Davie Tucker. He leads as the Executive Director of the Metro Human Relations Commission. He started on the commission as a commissioner himself when he was on faculty with the American Baptist College, and he still holds his position as the Reverend at the Beach Creek Baptist Church here in Nashville. Davie, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for the invitation, Summer, and the intro. I like that.
Well, you are certainly a man of many talents and a lot of experience. So I know that many of our viewers tuning in today aren't familiar with the Metro Human Relations Commission, even though it's been around for 60 years. Could you tell us a little bit about its origin story and its purpose?
The Metro Human Relations Commission is a result of the passage of the Civil Rights Act of '64, which created the requirement that governments receiving federal funds could not discriminate. And so like agencies popped up all over the country. Local, state has one that was recently disbanded to basically be the sign-off to say that. Well, they've taken on more pressing issues such as enforcement of Title VI. And Metro, and we just had our 60th, MHRC has been a part of, I'd like to say, what the city has become. But I also tell folks MHRC has more losses than wins.
More losses than wins?
Yes.
Say more, please.
Well, we have a statute that is aspirational at best, that we're to promote and advocate and protect the general safety, security, health, and general welfare of all Nashvillians. That's huge. And so at times, we're not able to do that as a reality.
Okay, so what do you wish you had more of? And what do you, I don't know your age actually, Davie. I'm not going to ask you on this show today to tell us your age, but I will say that I'm pretty sure that you were born and raised here. Am I right?
Yes, not too far from here.
Okay.
Raised over here in Cheatham Place housing projects.
Wow.
That's how we do that.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay. Okay. So you growing up here, the Metro Human Relations Commission just celebrating its 60th year. What have you, from your lens and now the history that you're observing, analyzing, and building upon with the Metro Human Relations Commission, as you look back on its past 60 years and however many years that you've been with us as well, what have you seen that you think is important for us to see?
Growing up here, I've seen great change, a lot of it good, some things that still remain, but I've kind of was going along that you get wins every now and then. So over the years, every now and then there's a win that comes along. But what I'm seeing now is a retraction of what had been wins.
Okay.
That so many things that we have come to take for granted are now being questioned again.
Can you give me specific examples?
The equal protection under the law thing.
Right. And what are the wins that you say you're seeing that we thought we had that? We thought we were past that. We thought we were doing better, and now it seems as if we're not.
You know, the larger discussion around diversity, equity, and inclusion, which, as most things, the way we understand them, they have to be commodified. So there was some issue with DEI as a thing because it created jobs and made money, but that the acceptance into the regular conversation appeared to have been done. So now, how do we go and measure how much diversity and how much inclusion and how much equity when suddenly now just the mere talk of that is the opening up of history that many academics, just for their careers at various times in our history, knew they weren't telling the truth. The mythology of America over against the history of America. And so now there's this push to go back to the mythology, and we're buying into it. The idea that you can use a term such as woke in a way that it gives a message, a political, social message that is antithetical to what the word woke means. I just find that
Can
interesting.
you tell me as a reverend what the term woke means for you?
Aware, not asleep, paying attention. That's literally.
Does it have biblical roots?
Well, I think so. The requirement of folk to be as harmless as a dove, but as wise as a serpent. You have to be, to know what is happening, you have to be observing. And history is what history is. And now you have conversations with individuals that suddenly you're woke and it's bad, to where others are really making a emphatic declaration. I'm not woke. I do not want to be aware. I do not want to be awake. I do not want to pay attention to what's going on, and we buy into that.
So what do we do with that? What do we do with this moment? And where do you see yourself as a leader and the Metro Human Relations Commission taking us in this critical moment?
Great question. I think you offer a good model that as a community organizer, as one that spent most of my adult life on the outside of the system, now on the inside of the system, I've come to appreciate some of the less disruptive things that America seems to react to. They react to protest. They react to violence. They react to the lack of participation by enough people in society that's how we draw attention to change. But the simple idea of having a conversation with no preset takeaways is refreshing.
Thank you.
But it's also challenging.
Right.
It makes me park my own rightness, which that in and of itself has been a bit of a struggle too, is to create space where we get to be who we be.
Right.
And hopefully there can be some shared response of what it means to be humans and to be alive together in society right now.
Right, and I know that you have designed and are building some really exciting programming around that, and we're going to be getting into that more right after the break. So stay tuned with us. Just coming up after this break, we're going to be talking about what Davie Tucker and the Metro Human Relations Commission are doing about how do we have conversations in this city that get us further along than where we currently are today. Welcome back to the Millions of Conversations show. We're thrilled you're here. I'm here with my friend, Reverend Davie Tucker, who's the Executive Director of the Metro Human Relations Commission. Reverend Tucker was just telling me about the programming that they have designed for us moving forward here in 2025 and beyond, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about it. They've started a new series called Humans Over Hate. Can you tell us a little bit more about Humans Over Hate and why you started it?
Well, the MHRC is the Metro Human Relations Commission is a group of 17 citizens that are 10 are appointed by the mayor, confirmed by the council, and 7 are appointed by the council to take up what I said earlier was our cause to protect the general welfare of all Nashvillians. So we have this group of citizens that come from diverse backgrounds, and we come together under this one umbrella for this one purpose.
How often do you meet?
We meet once a month, and they're public meetings, they're publicly noticed, and they also are on the Metro channel. So, and individuals can make presentations, file complaints for Title VI, invite us to try to conciliate issues, and we do that between companies, agencies, people in companies, people in agencies that trust us with that moment. And so in working out our schedule, what I had noticed that seemed to pick up and gain steam basically in the last 10 years is this rise of hate, hate in rhetoric, hate in action, hate in politics, and it has arrested me to the point that we can't fight our way out of it anymore. That knowing that this, particularly being in the South, this lost cause ideology is always close by, whether we want to own it or claim it or not. And now it seems to be on steroids. And since most of us have families and jobs and things that take up our concentration, we're really low volume listeners. And we can actually be sucked into things that are familiar to us that are actually detrimental to us. And this hate is one of those things that keeps coming up. And so the Humans Over Hate initiative seeks to address it in multiple ways. One is the initiative that, thanks to your organization, No Hate on My Plate, which seeks to bring desperate groups of people together over a meal to have curated questions with facilitated conversation.
And how's that going?
It's going excellent. We've had our first one. We're having 2 this week. We have several that are lined up. I just met this morning with another individual representing 2 groups that actually want to have them. So we're just trying to build up bandwidth to be able to plan them out. We're really excited about them. The first one was really moving to me. And again, learning for me of around the idea of conversation without expectation.
Do you think part of this is that you're teaching people how to be more human again? Do you feel like there's part of that art of being human and being in community with each other that's atrophied, or what do you think is going on? I mean, why do you think that hate is? And I remember one thing I heard you say, which really stuck with me, is that you just were exhausted by it. You found yourself just exhausted by the hate.
Well, yes, and it becomes untenable when hate shows up and it suddenly colors whatever conversation you're going to have, to where we never talk about the hate that showed up, and we act like we want to talk about other things other than talking about, why do you dislike this? Why do you dislike them? Why do you dislike whatever it is?
Right.
And I think it's just become so critical. And as a practicing pastor, realizing that religion has often been hated, it's also one of the places where you can be a hater too. And I don't say that just to Christianity, I say that to religion as a whole. And I find that not helpful when we can, on some pseudo-moral or ethical ground, think it's okay to hate and use hate. And so MHRC provides a great platform, I think, to address it. It doesn't come from the religious bent, because we're a governmental agency. We're concerned with the common good. And as Fred Cloud, one of the past executive directors, he said that MHRC is the conscience of the city.
I like that, the conscience of the city. That's quite powerful. And I also like what you're saying with regards to people evaluating whether or not they're doing some of the hating, even when they themselves might feel like they are hated. And it sounds like what you're describing, I don't want to put words in your mouth, so tell me if I'm right or wrong here, but that you're addressing this us versus them mentality. And so one of my questions for you is, how does one keep their individuality? How does one live in a pluralistic society where they celebrate their differences while also being proud of their uniqueness, which makes them different than the other person that they're in community with?
I remember early on hearing someone say decades ago that America was a melting pot. And when you think about that, someone has to make the choice of what gets put in the pot. And so we had made this choice that a lot of things are able to be put into the pot, and we're cooking this collective stew. Well, now certain things are, at this point, people are attempting to take out of the pot. And that can be problematic. Well, I find that problematic. And that two significant portions of our society, I believe, help perpetuate that. The political side and the religious side seem to be actively involved in making our inability to accept someone as to how they show up. And I guess the answer to your question is, we ought not have preconceived expectations of who someone should be or have to be when we encounter them. I find that to be so cumbersome, to just being a person, and then you may miss what someone else's lived experience can be informed, that can help inform yours or offer us a different way of being.
It sounds to me too that what you're asking us to do is to be secure.
Yes.
And is to have courage and security to be able to talk to somebody who's different than we are while still remaining who we are.
Yes.
And that
I get flack from multiple places sometimes that I had to grow into that, to where it's immaterial to me now, but I will, for you to be in an active relationship with me, you must acknowledge my blackness. And by you acknowledging my blackness, I'm going to acknowledge who you're presenting yourself to be. But when I must not be as black or assimilate to something that I have no historical roots to, or even a understanding that often contradicts with my identity, because it was my family, my nucleus, my community, my church that helped establish for me who I am. And it was always a black male.
Powerful.
And so now when I show up in places, there are expectations that you won't be that here. And again, that's untenable.
And I think that's exactly why we need to all engage in the Humans Over Hate initiative, and to be a part of the No Hate on My Plate, so that we can learn how to help each other experience this belonging that you're talking about. Well, stay with us. We're going to be coming back after the break and talking about the 3 ways that you can help build a community around belonging. Welcome back to the Millions of Conversations show. I'm your host, Samar Ali, and we've just had a fascinating conversation with my dear friend here, Reverend Davie Tucker, who's the Executive Director of the Metro Human Relations Commission. As I was listening, I really found myself identifying 3 key ways that people can get more involved with the Metro Human Relations Commission and their mission to help make our city a safer, healthier, and happier place. One thing that came up for me is to attend the Metro Human Relations Commission meetings, which happen on the first Mondays of every month at 4 o'clock. Where is that again, Davie?
At 700 President Ronald Reagan Way, which is the Sunny West building at the Howard School building, where you get your license and your tags renewed.
Okay, perfect. So please join the Metro Human Relations Commission meetings that happen on the first Mondays of every month. The second thing is sign up for No Hate on My Plate, which is an ongoing series which is a part of the Humans Over Hate programming that the Metro Human Relations Commission is putting on now almost on a weekly basis. So there are ways to be getting involved. And third, we haven't talked about it yet, but we talked about it in between commercials, and I wanted to share with you all, is that there's going to be a documentary coming out about our Metro Human Relations Commission. Their 60th years, there's 60 years in action of behind the scenes. It's going to be coming onto the stage here in Nashville for us to learn more about where the Metro Human Relations Commission has been, where it is today, and where I think it hopes to go. Am I right? Yes,
you're correct.
Okay. Is there anything else, Davie, you want to share with our audience?
12 noon on June 19th at NAMAM. We're inviting the community to come out and just look at these familiar voices who've been part of this journey of trying to make Nashville a more equitable place for everybody.
Amazing. Well, thank you for everything that you're doing, and thanks for tuning in. And please join us with the Metro Human Relations Commission's mission. Thank you.